Good morning everyone. In this video, we are going to cover the current affairs. For mobile optimized ebooks, please install GKToday Academy app. For regular updates, please join our Telegram channel. The revision PDF are uploaded on this Telegram channel. We have started a new channel, Civils Academy. You can subscribe to it if you find it relevant. Now, let's start. The 1776 Commission report is associated with which country? So, it is associated to USA. Recently, this report was released. Actually, former president of USA, Donald Trump, set up a national commission. Why this commission was set up? To promote patriotic education in the country. And this commission is known as 1776 Commission. So, three things about this commission is that first, it was set up by Trump. Second thing is that it was set up to promote patriotic education. And third thing is that its report released recently. Recently, USA was also in news as it imposed sanctions on Turkey for purchasing S-400 missile defense system from Russia. Recently, Russia was in news as it left Open Skies Treaty. Recently, USA was also in news as it removed Sudan from the list of terror sponsor. Apart from that, it included Cuba in the list of terror sponsors. So as per USA, now Cuba is a terror sponsor country. On the other hand, Sudan is no longer a terror sponsor country. On which date the statehood day of three states of Meghalaya, Manipur and Tripura is celebrated? So, it is celebrated on 21st of January. So, 21st of January was the statehood day of Meghalaya, Manipur and Tripura. Actually, in 1972, on this day, these three states became the full-fledged states. And these became full-fledged states under this Northeast Region Reorganization Act of 1971. So, at that point of time, these three became the full-fledged states. That is Meghalaya, Manipur and Tripura. On the other hand, Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh became union territories at that point of time. Later, these union territories were converted into full-fledged states in 1987. Hawkeye platform, which was in news recently, is owned by which organization? So, it is owned by HAL. What is HAL? It is Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. Recently, it was in news because this SO, that is Smart Anti-Airfield Weapon, was successfully tested from this Hawkeye aircraft, and this is associated to HAL, that is Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. On the other hand, this SO has been indigenously developed by DRDO. DRDO is Defense Research and Development Organization. Please note that DRDO as well as HAL both are under MOD, that is Ministry of Defense. DRDO was also in news as 1st of January was celebrated as DRDO Day. It was also in news because of Rakshita. DRDO handed over this Rakshita bike ambulance series to CRPF. What is CRPF? It is Central Reserve Police Force. CRPF is a CAPF, that is Central Armed Police Force, and Central Armed Police Forces are under Ministry of Home Affairs. Recently, Home Minister Amit Shah launched health insurance scheme for CAPF, and the name of this health insurance scheme is Ayushman CAPF. What is CAPF? It is Central Armed Police Force. What is the name of this health insurance scheme? It is Ayushman CAPF. Masquerade 2021 is an initiative of which Indian body? So, it is an initiative of FICCI, that is Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. So, why this was organized? It was a movement against smuggled and counterfeit. Counterfeit means fake trade. And this was organized by a FICCI committee. And the event was inaugurated by Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan. Recently, he was in news as he presided over the WHO Executive Board session. WHO is World Health Organization. Recently, USA decided to rejoin WHO. Now coming back to FICCI, so it is Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. It was formed in 1927, and the founders were Mr. Ghanshyam Das Birla and Purushottam Das Thakur Das. So these two were main founders, and the headquarters of this FICCI is in New Delhi. Please note that FICCI is not a governmental organization. It is a non-governmental trade organization. Presently, the president of FICCI is Mr. Uday Sankar. The Supreme Court recently upheld the validity of which law or act to protect the bidders for corporate debtors. So recently, Section 32 of IBC, that is Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, was in news. Why it was in news? Because Supreme Court recently upheld the validity of this section. Now, in simplest term, let me explain you the entire scenario. Suppose you are a corporate, you took some money as loan, but now you are not able to repay it. So the matter reached to IBC, that is Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. Actually, this is a code, and as per this code, we have IBBI. What is IBBI? It is Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India. Now, under this IBC, the assets of this corporate will be auctioned and the bidders will bid for this. However, the Section 32 of this Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code specify that successful bidders would be immune. That means they would be protected from any investigation being conducted by investigating agencies such as ED and statutory bodies such as SEBI. Why this is so? These protections are provided so that this process can be completed in a timely manner. So this protection from liability or criminal liability is important so that new management can take over and continue its functionality. For non-banking students, you just need to remember that Section 32 provides immunity from criminal liability and it provides immunity to the successful bidders. It is under IBC, that is Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. Which personality announced to give away $100 million for the best carbon capture technology? So this has been announced by Mr. Elon Musk. He is the chief of Tesla and SpaceX. Recently, he announced $100 million prize for the best carbon capture technology. Now, what is carbon capture? See, carbon dioxide is released in the electricity generation process and in the industrial process. This CO2 is a major cause of global warming. Therefore, the CO2 is captured and stored. And this is done with the help of carbon capture technology. So there are different methods to capture the CO2. In this context, there is one more term, CCS, that is carbon capture and storage. Now recently, Mr. Elon Musk was also in news as he became the richest person. He surpassed Mr. Jeff Bezos of Amazon. Recently, Amazon Web Service, that is AWS, partnered with Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology for a quantum lab. Which company has partnered with French publishers to make digital copyright payments for online news content? So this is done by Google. Google has signed a deal with the group of French publishers. Now, with the help of this agreement, it will enable the company to make digital copyright payments for the online news content. Therefore, France is the first country to adopt this new European Union copyright rules. In simplest terms, the entire issue is about news content. So media outlets publish this news content and this news content is used by different digital platforms. For example, Facebook use this news content. Now, Google has signed a deal with these French publishers, that means French media publishers. And with the help of this, now they will be able to make payments for this online news content. A similar decision was taken by Australia. In Australia, the regulator is considering that these digital platforms need to pay if they are going to use news content, and in Australia, Google is opposing this decision. The parent company of Google is Alphabet. Recently, it was also in news as Alphabet announced that it is going to shut down its Project Loon. So Project Loon was a project of Google to provide internet access. Recently, Alphabet decided that it is going to shut down this Project Loon. Recently, Australia was also in news because of Brereton report. Answer in comment box, what is the objective of this report? Which meeting was recently conducted under the theme of the new normal and safe and healthy tourism? So this was the part of ACD, that is Asia Cooperation Dialogue, and recently its 17th ministerial meeting was organized under the theme the new normal and safe and healthy tourism. Every year, Tourism Day is celebrated on 27th of September. And for tourism, we have WTO, that is World Tourism Organization. There's one more WTO, that is World Trade Organization. So that is related to trade, it is related to tourism. The headquarters of WTO, that is World Tourism Organization, is in Madrid in Spain. Recently, Spain was in news because of COP25. COP25 stands for Conference of Parties number 25. It held in Spain under the presidency of Chile government. Next one, that is COP26, is going to be in UK. Recently, COP21 was in news. It is special because during this Conference of Parties, Paris Agreement came into picture. UK was also in news as it is the host of G7 summit. The agencies of which organization released Asia and the Pacific Regional Overview of Food Security and Nutrition Report. So this has been released by UN, that is United Nations. So recently certain agencies named UNICEF, FAO, World Food Programme and World Health Organization jointly released this Asia and Pacific Regional Overview of Food Security and Nutrition Report. This is the third report on the progress of SDG, that is Sustainable Development Goals. Now, FAO's Food and Agriculture Organization headquarters is in Rome in Italy. Recently it was in news as it completed 75 years. WFP's World Food Programme, WHO's World Health Organization. SDG, that is Sustainable Development Goals, are 17 goals. These were set up in 2015 and the objective is to achieve these goals by 2030, which is the India's first gas exchange to be authorized by the Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Board. So it is IGX, that is India Gas Exchange, and this IGX is the subsidiary of IEX, that is Indian Energy Exchange. This was the first to be authorized from PNGRB, that is Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Board. Why it was in news recently? Because Adani Total Gas and Torrent Gas recently acquired 5% equity stake each. That means both acquired 5% in Indian Gas Exchange. So why this Indian Gas Exchange was in news? As these two entities, Adani Total Gas and Torrent Gas, acquired 5% stakes. Which city has announced to remove the statues of William Beckford and Sir John Cass associated with slavery trade? So this city is London. Recently it approved the removal of statues of William Beckford and Sir John Cass. So these were associated with slave trades, and that's why the authorities of London decided to remove these two statues. So these were the most important questions. Now we are going to cover few important news events. First is National Ice Hockey Championship. So ITBP, that is Indo-Tibetan Border Police, won this Ice Hockey Championship, and this was the 10th edition. Next is Toshali National Crafts Mela. So this was organized in Odisha, in Bhubaneswar. Odisha was also in news because of Konark Sun Temple. Next is Shram Shakti Portal. So recently, Union Tribal Affairs Minister Arjun Munda launched this Shram Shakti Portal, and this was organized during a virtual program, and this program was organized in Goa. Capital of Goa is Panji. So it is a migration support portal. It is for migrant workers, so that migrant workers can take the benefit of different national and state level government initiatives. Next is Shyam Srinivasan. So recently, Mr. Srinivasan was selected as the Business Standard Banker of the Year. Next is Vehru Bridge. So recently this bridge was in news. It is India's longest road arch bridge, and it is in Meghalaya. Recently, Meghalaya Chief Minister Mr. Conrad Sangma inaugurated this bridge. Next is SIDM. So what is SIDM? It is Society of Indian Defence Manufacturers. So as the name suggests, so it is for the promotion of indigenous production of defense equipments. Recently it was in news because MOU, that is Memorandum of Understanding, was signed between Indian Army and SIDM to boost the indigenous defense components. What is the meaning of this term? Indigenous, it means made in India. Now this is special because this MOU was signed on the occasion of 25 years of partnership between CII and Indian Army. What is CII? It is Confederation of Indian Industries. Next is Global Risk Report. So recently 16th risk report was released. It was released by World Economic Forum, and as per this report, infectious disease is the top risk. So it is the topmost risk. It is the top risk by impact. On the other hand, extreme weather is the top risk by livelihood. Next is Jayant N. Khobragade. So recently he was appointed as India's next ambassador to ASEAN. ASEAN is Association of Southeast Asian Nations. The Secretariat of ASEAN is in Jakarta in Indonesia. Next is Ukhana Khurelchuk. So recently the Prime Minister of Mongolia resigned over the protest related to mismanagement of COVID-19. Capital of Mongolia is Ulaanbaatar. Next is India-Africa Trade Council 2021. So this council was started in Chennai in Tamil Nadu. That means this year this council was organized in Chennai. Next is Nikhil Srivastava. So Mr. Srivastava was in news as he has been selected as the one of winner of 2021 Michael and Sheila Held Prize. This is related to mathematics. Mr. Nikhil Srivastava is a young mathematician. So these were the most important news events. Now test questions. So first question is, scientists have spotted rare hot UV bright stars in cluster using the telescope on board which satellite? Next question is, Namrup, which was in news recently for its urea plant, is located in which state? Third question is, what is upheld 370, whose picture was recently shared by NASA? Fourth question is, what type of body is SIDM, which was making news recently? That means whether it is a constitutional body, it is a non-governmental organization, not-for-profit organization, what type of body is it? Fifth question is, MEITY is going to collaborate with which company to set up quantum computing applications lab? Next question is, which risk has been ranked at the first place as the top risk by impact by World Economic Forum's Global Risk Report? Next question is, Samvad Conference is held between India and which country? Next question is, DDC, that is District Development Council, is a local government body of which state or union territory? Next question is, the country's first advanced hypersonic wind tunnel facility was inaugurated in which Indian city? Next question is, Kalari Paitu is a famous game originating from which state? And last question is, which Indian mathematician has been named the winner of 2021 Michael and Sheila Held Prize? So these were the most important questions. Thank you, and that's all for the day.